Whether you agree or disagree, or it just simply goes over your head, you can still quote me, because that's what I said. Hey, welcome to another episode of Native Talks. Now, before I even get started, if you did not hear it from these two lips, then you've been lied to, and you have been tricked. Because before you can repeat it, or even start to debate it, just make sure that you heard me say it. Okay. This episode, oh man, is dealing with my feelings about what's going on in this country right about now. I'm just going to kind of hit on a few things. Just kind of express my disappointment is the better word that describes it. Y'all got to understand, I'm 54 years old. I grew up in a Christian home. Wasn't a perfect home, was far from it, but it was a Christian home, meaning that there were certain rules that my mother set up that me and my brother had to live by and we had to abide by, and there was no I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. My mother truly believed in the Word of God. I do too. And she raised us to follow the Word of God. I didn't always do everything that I should have. But for the most part, I tried to live my life the way God wanted me to. I grew up during a time where even if people didn't agree with you, people not agreeing with you was something normal. You didn't expect everybody to go along with what you thought and what you did. But you respected people's right to not agree with you. They didn't have to agree with you to be your friend or to be, a family member. We're going to all think differently at some point. But we respected each other's right to be different. And I think that's what I'm seeing that's changing. It's like you can't be different anymore. You can't think differently. You can't do differently. Everybody's trying to control what everybody else feels, thinks, and does. And I just can't get with that. So this video is called Living in a Strange Land. How is it that we got to a point where we all knew that we was boys and girls? We knew that. Our mothers told us from the time we were little. And then those of us who were raised to read the Bible, read in the Bible how God made us male and female. How is it that we wake up one day and now we're talking about there's over 100 and some odd genders? And how there's gender fluid and non-binary and furries. And when it's like we just woke up one day and just decided we don't want to be who we are. We have all the evidence. We've got our DNA. We've got the anatomy. We have everything telling us what we are. But because we don't feel like it, we feel like it's okay to change. Well, I have a response to that. And I know that what I'm about to say probably going to make some people angry. I'm telling you right now, I don't take back what I say. Now, I know we living in a time where people punish you. People will ridicule you for saying how you feel. I'm one that I'm not going to take back what I say. If I say something, it's what I meant to say. It's what I feel. It's what I believe. When I say it, I don't mean to hurt nobody, but I can't control how you respond. Just like if somebody calls me ugly, if I choose to cry because they call me ugly, or if I choose to get angry because they call me ugly, or if I choose to say nothing at all. How I respond is a choice. Just like how you feel is a choice. You see what I'm saying? And I just grew up during a time where I used to respect people's choices. I still respect people's choices. But I realize that I'm living in a culture that don't do that anymore. They don't respect people's choices. We all were born with them, but for some reason, people want to snatch them and take them. So here's what I'm about to say about that. You know, it just seems very weird to me that no one wants to be who they're created to be. Now, you can not want to be a woman and decide that you would feel better or that your life would be better if you were a man. That's your choice if you want to do that. That's your choice if you want to think that. But no matter what type of surgery that you do to yourself, it's not going to change your DNA. Your DNA, your genetic makeup says that you are either a woman or a man. And no matter what you clip off or add on, doesn't change who you are. And the best way that I can kind of compare that to, when I took my cat Brownie to the vet, I had him clipped, I had him fixed, because I did not want to have any kittens, in the future. And plus, they say that it's better for a pet to, have those hormones, clipped off so that they're not, being hyperactive and overactive because of the hormone, to mate. But no matter how they took his testosterone out, the testosterone level has been removed so that he doesn't get the sex drive that he gets, that he can't do anything with. You see what I'm saying? But he's still a cat. He's still a male cat. He doesn't become a female cat just because the testosterone level has been reduced. He is still a male cat. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't change anything. And I am a woman, and I find it offensive. I'm sorry. I can't tell a man that he can't think that. Now, he can think that he's a woman if he wants to. But I do have issue with men playing girl sports, because we've had to work way too hard as women to prove that we are just as competitive as men. And to have a guy, whether he's wearing a wig or whether a weave or whether he didn't grew his hair out and he's wearing makeup and everything and he's calling himself a girl, the bottom line is you're not a girl. And I don't appreciate you trying to come over and dominate in the women's sports. You know you're going to be able to dominate over there because you already know you're not a guy. Look, if you were born a girl, you'd already be over there. You would have already been playing on the team if you was a girl. You would have already been over there. You would have already been a part of the team. You already would have been making your name on the team. The fact that you have to try to fight to get onto something, maybe that's because you weren't meant to be there in the first place. I'm so sorry if that offends you, but I'm sorry, that's the way it is. And me being a woman, and ever since the age of 12, I have had a menstrual cycle that has come down consistently every single month. I'm sorry, this goes out to every man, whoever has felt that he is a woman, whoever went and had a surgical procedure to say that he is a woman and try to change himself to be a woman, to all the Caitlyn Jenners and transgenders around the world, here is this for you. If you ain't bleeding once a month, you are not a woman. I'm sorry. But you ain't going through the suffering of that once a month that every woman who's a real woman has had to go through. You have not had to do that. It's really easy to come over and want to be a woman when you can wear the dresses, you can wear the makeup, you can play the role, but you can't fulfill all of the duties. Because you just don't have the DNA makeup. See, there's something in that DNA that makes us bleed once a month. And that's something that no matter what type of surgical procedure you have, no matter what you do, ain't going to give you that. So you can think what you want. You can dress up in drag. You can be the baddest baddie out there. I ain't hating on that. But at least know for a fact that you are an imitation of a woman, not the real thing. You will always be trying to emulate a woman and imitate a woman, but you're not a woman. And I'm sorry. I know that there's probably some kids out there that'll hear it and be totally upset by it, but I'm sorry. I can't get with this stuff. I can't. I respect people's right to want to do that. If that's what you want to do, I can't stop you. Nobody can stop you. Even God ain't gonna get in that. He ain't gonna stop you from trying to mutilate your body. He's not happy that you're trying to do it. He don't want you to do it, but he gave you freedom of choice just like he gave everybody else freedom of choice. And if that's what you want to do with your body, he's not going to stop you. I ain't going to stop you. Ain't nobody else going to stop you. But I have to be honest. You can do all of that, but it's not going to change the fact that your DNA says male. And if you're a female who's wanting to be like a guy, your DNA says female. I don't know what more to say on that. I stand on it. I stand by it. It's what I said. Political parties. You know, from the time I was a child, I was a Democrat. I grew up in a Democrat house. My mother was a Democrat. Matter of fact, a lot of people in my family were Democrat. Here recently, I've been rethinking that. Now that don't mean that I'm gonna be a right-wing Republican. I'm not a Republican. But I have to admit that a lot of what I see going on in the Democratic Party, I'm not too pleased with. I'm not too happy with. And anybody that does not stand up for what I believe, I can't get behind you. I don't care what political party you represent. If you don't hold up, if you are not a reflection of what I believe, what I expect, I can't speak for nobody else. Because everybody joins political parties for their own reasons. This is my reason. You got to represent what I want to see happen in this country. You have to implement what I want to see happen. And if you're not even close, if you're not even near where I'm going, I can't support you. So last year, I left the Democratic Party. I'm independent now. I'm just kind of out there because I don't trust either side right now. I don't trust the Republicans, but I don't trust the Democrats either. So I'm basically just out there saying, Lord, you tell me who to put my vote behind, because I don't trust this one over here and I don't trust that one over there. And I'm not going to be following a political party just because the majority does. I told y'all back when the COVID situation happened that I wasn't going to be the sheep that followed the booty of the other sheep that was walking ahead of me. I'm just not that. I wasn't built that way. That's not my character. I've always been the one that goes against the grain. I don't follow the road that everybody else is on. I may take a different road. Everybody else is going this way and I'm over here. That's the type of person I am. That's the type of person I've always been. And so it was a hard decision to make, to leave the Democratic Party, because it was something that for a long time I was proud to be a part of. But through the years, I've watched that party decline. I've seen them support bills and things that went into law and went into enforcement that totally went against what I believe. And I had to make a decision. I'm like, is my life about a political party, or is my life about what I believe? And when I knew that my life was about what I believe, then I said, I can't go with a political party. I gotta go with what I believe. And if I don't see anybody representing what I believe, I gotta back off. I gotta step out of that arena. I can't be a part of it. And so that's where I'm at right now. I work with kids for a living. So I'm real sensitive when people do things to children. I'm real sensitive about that. I will fight for kids till the day I die. I mean, to me, there's not enough fighters for children out there. It's just not enough. We got more people that are willing to help the criminals that hurt the children than to protect the children. Used to be a time people would go to their death for a child. They would move heaven and earth to protect a kid. And we don't see that now. It did flipped. People are willing. You know how I know that happened? When this shooting in Nashville happened, this latest shooting, 3 kids and 3 adults. A transgender person, in translation, a female who wanted to be a boy, goes to a Christian school and kills 3 kids and 3 adults. And planned it because she had a manifesto. So she planned this stuff. Now, of all the mass shootings that we have heard where lives were taken, I've heard both political parties speak out against violence. But when this situation happened, I heard people actually saying that they understood why this transgender person did what they did. Some people even said that they stood behind that person for doing what they did. And I'm like, wow. Did we not forget that there were children that were killed in this? Not just 3 innocent adult lives as well, but also 3 innocent kids. These 6 people that this person killed had absolutely nothing to do with her torture over what gender she wanted to be, her inner demons that she was fighting. Those 6 people had absolutely nothing to do with it. But they paid the price because she wanted to unleash her pain on someone else. And for the first time ever in history, I'm hearing people that are literally saying that they understood. That's almost like giving it a nod or saying that it's okay to kill innocent people if you are a tortured soul. Are you kidding me? Living in a strange land. Now we don't mind killing innocent kids to prove a point. To prove a point that you want to make. It's okay to kill innocent people now? That's okay? Seriously? And my last topic is gun control. Since when do we blame the gun for killing people? A gun doesn't just hop out of the holster and go, Who am I going to shoot today? I guess I'll just take my little self and waddle down to the nearest school or shopping mall and just start spraying. Now, you and I both know it don't go down like that. You and I both know that we need to deal with the person behind the gun. The gun only does what the person who picks it up makes it do. And if you don't deal with the person, if you don't deal with the mind, the demented mind that picked up the gun, gun control it's nonsense. We need to have criminal control. That's what we need. When you know somebody got mental health issues, why aren't they getting the help that they need? Why are you letting them roam the streets and wreak havoc on people when you know they've been diagnosed with this, diagnosed with that, and no one is making it mandatory that they receive treatment? You know, I hate to say this, but back when they had insane asylums, we weren't having these situations. The murder rate wasn't like it is now, where people can just unleash carnage on other people. When we had insane asylums, if you was diagnosed with something, you got shipped somewhere. You got placed somewhere. And America wanted to feel like, well, we're not that kind of a society. We don't just put people away. We allow them to have full lives and be able to function in society. That sounds good on paper. But if you're not going to put, you know what? I have no problem with you allowing someone who has mental health issues to live a full life, but give them the help they need. Make it mandatory that if you want to live in your own apartment and work a job and live as a normal human being and not in an asylum, you must meet with therapists on a weekly basis. And if you make it mandatory to where you don't get paid until you see your therapist. See, there's ways that you can make it mandatory to where these people, look, folk got to eat. Folk got to have a roof over their head. If you made it mandatory that you don't get a paycheck until you come and see the therapist. You don't get your food voucher until you go and get, you'd be surprised how many of them will show up for therapy. But because we have no rules, we just took the rules and tossed them out the window, then we expect these people to follow the few that remain? If you done removed most of them, they're going to disregard the ones that's left. I've always said it. When you draw a line in the sand and you keep erasing the line and moving it further and further back, at some point, you're going to say, what's the point of having the line at all? Because you can only keep moving it so much before you say, what's the point? There's no point in even having a line if I'm going to keep changing it every few minutes. That's what this country is doing. Every time we take something that we've set up and we go, well, I don't know about that. Maybe we won't do that no more. Okay, that's erasing the line and then creating another one. But see, once you erase that line and you create the other one, it's not as bold. It's not as visible. And the respect for it diminishes. Because why? You took away the other one. The other line that everyone knew they couldn't cross, well, now you took that away. The next line you draw don't have the same impact because you took the respect for the first one away. So the other one don't have as much. And you keep doing it and keep doing it, before long there's no respect. And that's pretty much where we are now. Living in a strange land, y'all. I'm living in a time that I never thought that I would be. But you know, my mother used to tell me that things were going to get like this. The Bible even let us know that things were going to get like this. I guess where I was dumb, I didn't think it would happen in my lifetime. I thought I would be dead and gone by the time this stuff is happening. And the fact that I'm living through it, I think that's the part that I'm having to struggle with, is that I'm having to see all this stuff. Everything that the Bible spoke about, everything that my mother told me was going to happen, I'm seeing it now. And it's going to get worse before it gets better, unfortunately. So, I'm living in a strange land. But I truly believe that Jesus will show me and those who seek it, He will show us the way to navigate this strange land and to inject Him within it to help other people navigate it. Just because things are strange doesn't mean you adapt to the strangeness. It means that you're there to show them that this is not the way it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be the strange land. You have to stand. If anybody want to know the song that really, there's two Christian songs that really speak about what's going on right now. One is what a Christian has to keep reminding themselves of. And the other one is what we are called to do. The first song is by the Newsboys called Stand. That is a reminder of what God is telling us to do. That when everything is going on, we have to stand. Even if we're the only one. We have to stand for what He wants us to do. Even if the world is telling you you're wrong, you're mean, you're this, you're that, those Christian people, they're this, they're that. Okay, you can think that. I can't change what you think, but that ain't gonna change me. Just because you think that way about me, it ain't gonna change who I am and what I believe. So you go ahead and think what you think. I can't stop that. But I can't stop being who I am either. The second song that really speaks to what every Christian needs to do. First Things First by the group Consumed by Fire. If you've never heard of these songs, you're in YouTube now, you can go and check them out. But those songs really speak to what Christians have to do and are being called to do. We're living in a strange land, y'all. I'm not happy about it, but I know that nothing is a surprise to God. It's a surprise to us because we ain't never lived through nothing like this, but it's not a surprise to Him. He knew all this stuff was going to happen. And when we see the problems, He sees the end, and He already knows that He sent His Son to die for all of this, so He knows the outcome. We're the ones that are stuck on the problems, and He's trying to get us to keep our eyes focused on Him. He'll get us through this. But I'm not changing what I think and what I believe for nobody. Not even these Christians who say they Christian, but they following a lot of this ideology that's out there. They follow, they okay with, homosexuals in the church and transgender, and they okay with releasing criminals from prison. They okay with all of that. I can't control what people follow. I have to control what I follow. That's the key. I got to make sure that the world that's changing doesn't change me. Alright, y'all. That's about it. That's all I'm going to say on it. I'm off of it. Y'all have a blessed day. Those that don't believe in God, I seriously hope that one day you see that no matter how you don't believe in God, no matter how you feel about Him, He loves you. That doesn't change. He may not like the things you do. That's like a parent. He may not like what you do. May not agree with what you do. But He loves you. And that's why every day you wake up, that's a chance to change your mind. He ain't gonna force you to. It's his desire that you do, but he knows he can't force you. Because he realized the whole key to it. True love is from someone who chooses to love, not from someone who's forced. Because once you feel forced to do something, then it's no longer what it is. You don't love somebody if you feel you're forced. That's servitude. That's slavery. And see, there's even a difference in servitude and slavery. Servitude is what you do when you choose to honor someone through giving of yourself. Slavery is where somebody forces you to do something that you don't want to do. Now, a lot of people feel like God's rules are slavery. I don't know how you feel that. Because God been against, he does not approve of homosexuality, but a lot of gay people are gay. He hasn't stopped them from being gay, has he? He hasn't come down from the sky and lit up the ground. He could have, but he hasn't done that. When you read in the Bible about Sodom and Gomorrah, look how long they was around before he did what he did. And he even tried to save them once by telling Abraham, if you can find at least 10 of them up in there that live for me, I'll spare the whole city. I'll spare them if you can just find 5 of them that's up in there. I'll spare the whole... Look, when he's negotiating on your behalf like that, I mean, come on. When he's saying, I could kill them all if I want to, but I'm not going to do it. If you can find at least 10. If you can find at least 5. If you can find at least 3. I mean, he went all the way down to 1 and couldn't find 1 in the whole entire place. God knows that he can't force you to choose him. But he loves you in spite of that. And he just hopes that one day before you take your last breath that you change your mind. So I'm off of it, y'all. That's how I feel. I'm living in weird times. And I know by the grace of God, I'm going to get through it. My prayer is that when I get through it, that I see a lot of people who didn't think they would be on the Lord's side, that one day they choose to be on his side. That is my prayer. Because things are not going to get better. They're going to get worse. It's up to you. It's all a choice. Well, I thank you for hanging out again with me. And until the next episode.